focus on you. Oh, it'll come when you least expect it. Oh, you're not missing out on anything. I'm not gonna lie, I feel behind. We give the best advice because you know what, the coaches never play or whatever. Self-love is not a replacement for romantic love. Oftentimes my friends literally don't get it. Topic of every conversation, every Twitter debate, all my mates are getting engaged, dealing with guys and seeing how they operate when they're not attracted to you. Oof, you're being overlooked. Like, oh, put yourself out there. I avoid eye contact. This is a real thing. It sucks. Like, the math is not mathing. It's hard to not compare. I feel like the solution is to let go of expectations. Literally like suffocating. I have all the love in the world to give. Like, give it to yourself. I want the romance. And I don't think I'm wrong. It's natural to want to be wanted. It feels like the whole world has this inside joke and you just don't get it. I really have to remind myself that late bloomers still bloom, even if it doesn't seem possible. It's gonna happen. Hey y'all, it's Christelle. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm super excited for this upload. It was very highly requested. Not only just like a makeup routine, but we're finally talking about it, y'all. We're talking about being a late bloomer in love, dating, romance, all of that. It's such a vulnerable topic, but again, I don't want anybody to feel alone. It's just like, wow, I really about to put this out there. Okay, let me just... It's a pretty vulnerable topic, and it's something that I have struggled with in the past, like just feeling embarrassed about it, but it's nothing to be embarrassed about. I'm really hoping this finds the right people, and that if you can relate to this in any way, you really, like, you know, post something in solidarity in the comments, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is, I don't know, it's just a little bit, you know, it's just personal to me, but I often feel really alone in it. So I'm hoping that as I share, you'll realize you're not alone, we'll realize we're not alone, and it'll be a great chit chat. And obviously I can't just sit here and talk your ear off. So in order to keep you engaged, I'm trying Natori's makeup. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, this is Natori. Well, that's not a good picture of her.
Hot. I don't know, however, but I'm going to show you how to get your makeup to look absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Every single time. How I do it.
Exactly. She always looks good. So I'm going to be following her tutorial, doing my makeup, while also let's just talk about love, dating, romance, the lack thereof, the feelings of embarrassment, the loneliness, the isolation. It's all fine, but I just want us to be for real, because I feel like there's a lot of propaganda that's like, focus on you. Oh, it'll come when you least expect it. Oh, you're not missing out on anything. Okay, maybe it is. Maybe it will come when I least expect it, but I haven't been expecting it for almost 25 years. It hasn't come yet. Then it's like, oh, just focus on you. Some of my mates, not my real mates, but some of my mates are not focused on themselves, and they have a new, let me see how I want to say this because I'm trying to keep it PG. They person on their roster every week, every month, you know. And what's the other thing I said? Just, you know, like self-love. Yes, I love myself real bad, and it's taken a while. It's taken some work. It's taken therapy. It's taken prayer. It's taken everything to get to the point where I am in my self-love worth concept journey. But you can't, like, self-love is not a replacement for romantic love if that's something that you desire. And so I just wanted to validate all the girlies who feel like me, who never know what to say, have nothing to contribute in the group debrief when everybody's talking about their, you know, I don't know, it's just such an isolating feeling. And I really hope that I'm not trying to come across as me complaining, because I know that love is everywhere. Love is in abundance everywhere. I'm loved by God. I'm loved by my family, my friends, my sisters, I'm just loved. I'm very loved, but it's concerning when, you know, I just feel behind. I'm not gonna lie, I feel behind. I feel behind because I see all this propaganda. Oh my gosh, I need to also start doing my makeup. So let me start. Before we get into all of this, just know that I feel like it'll be worth the watch. You know, it's always fun to, you know, do your makeup. So maybe you could sit back, relax, do your makeup with me, or just like put me on in the background. But for the girlies who are late bloomers in dating and in love, who feel like, oh my gosh, will it ever be my turn? Like, is my time coming? You're fine. You're fine. You're focused on you, seizing the singleness, and then one day you just break down crying because it's like, oh my gosh, and all my mates are, you know, getting engaged. They have boyfriends. They have da-da-da-da. Like, I'm so sorry if y'all can hear the dogs. They're kind of doing a lot, but I'm still going to record this because I finally feel like I have the strength to do it, and I'm not going to let anything stop me. But it's just like, for those of you who struggle with that, just know I'm here. I plan to talk about like how I've been feeling about this, just certain experiences to let you know you're not alone. You know, childhood stuff that happened that probably has contributed to this. I'm gonna try and keep it organized, but we're doing our makeup. We're just chit-chatting. We're just talking about it because I need a safe space to talk about it, because oftentimes my friends literally don't get it because they just can't comprehend what it's like to literally like never date for real. So here we go. This is a safe space. No negativity, no rude comments will be, none of that. Hopefully we don't get none of that, but it will be dealt with. Moi blocked. But anyway, let's get into the video and let's do our makeup. So we're gonna start with skin prep and brows. Period. Every good makeup application begins with skin prep. That's just the rule of thumb. I usually stay away from this because it gives me a little bit of a white cast, but she says that it fades eventually, and she literally put it all up in her brows, so that looks like what she was doing. I'm trusting her process completely, so ooh, child. Brush it up, and then she says she took the comb side, so I flipped the thingy, and we're just gonna, you know, make a little shape. See how we did that? Why am I getting nervous? Okay, so it is looking a little crazy right now, but fear not. Love my primer. I don't know how some of y'all refuse to put makeup on your forehead. Like, it looks crazy. I'm so sorry, but we're in 2024, please. And let's talk about love. We're gonna multitask, it's okay, period. Fix that a little. Just like, there's so many things that I thought would have already happened that just haven't, you know? And I feel like not a lot of people talk about, like, everybody talks about the things that did happen. I saw this quote one time that was like, you know, trauma is the good things that, like, trauma is the things that also didn't happen. Like, everybody talks about what did happen, you know? Obviously, traumatic events that unfortunately all of us go through. But, like, trauma can be the good things that didn't happen either. We live in a society where everybody grows up thinking like, oh my gosh, like, I'm gonna find my person, I'm gonna get married. All the Disney princesses, they were about love, and like, oh, and she also like cleans up the top of her brow, so let's do that. All about love. Like, love is everywhere, in music, in religion, in social circles. Like, it's in everything. Like, everybody, that's the topic of every conversation, every Twitter debate. Oh, if your man is bop bop bop, what you doing? You saw those people who are, I don't even know what concert, but they were dragging her for dancing with her celebrity crush or whatever on the stage. And just like, love, romance, dating takes up so much in everyday life. So when you're when you're not experiencing that, it's just like, okay, and we gotta bring this down because you don't want floating head syndrome. So when you're not experiencing the things that it seems like everybody experiences, at a certain point, I feel like it's normal to be like, okay, so is there something wrong with me? And I know nothing's wrong with me, but still, it's such a sobering thing. It's such a mind bender when you're like, okay, what's wrong with me? Now, I am plus sized. I'm on a weight loss journey. I'm pretty transparent about that, but let's not be, you know, facetious here, if that's the right word. We all know that we live in a fat phobic society, and I'm not gonna lie, I've basically concluded that until I lose weight, I'm probably not going to experience romantic love the way I want to, and that is horrible and toxic, and I hate that that's a thought. But at this point, y'all, it's come to a point where I'm like, if you can't beat them, you have to join them. And it's like, it sucks, and that's not how society works, but it's almost like, don't hate the player, hate the game. Like, and I hate that, and I really want to experience what I want to experience before I reach my goals, because I will be reaching my goals. And you should absolutely tap in and subscribe. I'm gonna be sharing like my meal prepping and my juicing and like everything I've been doing. I've been in the gym. I've lost a lot of inches, but like, yeah, this is my last year. This is my last year being a plus size baddie. I'm just gonna be a baddie, period. And all my plus size baddies are baddies, period, but you know what I mean. So I attribute most of my like singleness to being overweight, but I've seen it happen for other people, but there's other things at play. It's just like, I can sit here and talk about beauty standards and your proximity to thinness and whiteness and da-da-da-da-da, but like, that's not what I want to talk about. I just want to talk about how sobering it is, especially for the people who do fall in those categories and are still experiencing this. I don't want to alienate anybody. I just want to share that, like, and this is looking a little crazy, so we're gonna have to trust the process, but let me look at my notes, because I also took notes on what I wanted to say. Morphe M439. So after you paint it on, like further just blend it out with a dense brush. Love this. And also don't forget about your ears, y'all. That's something my fave makeup artist Crafted by Chi taught me. Yeah, we're just gonna pat pat pat. I've been always young for my grade. I was very much focused on academics, and I feel like I also did that because, and this is so sad, but it's just like when you're plus size, I feel like oftentimes you feel the need to be like good at everything else, like extraordinary at so much, like so that people don't bully you. So it's like I learned from a very early age, all right, I'm fat, so I'm gonna be smart, I'm gonna be funny, I'm gonna be personable. And it made me such a people pleaser, and that's something that I'm trying to get out of. But you know, academics is where I shined. Like, you know, the pacer test and all those like bring back such horrible memories for me. But I was 9 in 6th grade, so that's all that anybody talks about anyway. Like I was, you know, first chair in orchestra when I went to my nerd school. Like I just like made sure that academically you couldn't tell me anything, you know? And I made sure I was nice. I made sure I was just excellent, because if that was my one fatal flaw that you could see, you're not gonna have anything else to say about me. Like I'm gonna give you so much other good content that you're just gonna just love me. And I hate that, but I feel like that might have bled out into, I'm not gonna say like everybody in society is to blame for like my lack of dating experience, but after like dealing with guys and seeing how they operate when they're not attracted to you, like you, oof, y'all, it's almost like, whew, I don't know. Okay, hold on, let's blend this, because I want to talk about like not only being a late bloomer, but how it feels to be overlooked, literally, quite literally overlooked, ignored when you're late. Like you're not only are you a late bloomer, it's like, oh, it hasn't happened, but you've seen opportunity for it to happen and you're being overlooked. Like, oh my gosh, but hold on. You know, for me, I wasn't worried about it in middle school. In high school, a little bit, but I went to such a nerd school that nobody was really worried about it. Now, yes, couples were still very much a thing, but like, we was focused on getting into Ivy League colleges, and I didn't go to Ivy League. I went to the illustrious University of Georgia, go Dogs. But I went to college, and then I was like, okay, naturally it's gonna happen. Freshman year, I was losing weight while everybody else was gaining. Like I was just so active. And then I started to peep like, oh, like I went to a party, I think, for the first time, and I was like, oh, like, oh, I'm in college, like this is what happens, and people start to take notice, and like you get DMs. Except I wasn't getting DMs, my friends were getting DMs, and we were like, oh my gosh, what I say back, and like, you know, and it's so funny. Like I feel like the most inexperienced girlies like are always the ones that y'all are like, oh my gosh, what I say, like we give the best advice because you know what, the coaches never play or whatever. But what I really wanted to say is that college is really where I started to peep how you can get overlooked. I attribute most of me being a late bloomer to my physical appearance. Did I say I was ugly just now? Listen very closely to what I'm saying. This is not a matter of me. I love myself. I'm beautiful with and without makeup, in every size, in every shape, in every stage. But that's not how everybody thinks, especially guys who are college aged. And I feel like when out having a good time with the girlies, and a guy or a group of guys really like came up to like, you know, my friend group, and it's in the little things. Like they get hugs around their waist and like looking in their eyes, and if I do even get addressed, it's a hug around like my shoulder, or like they won't look at me. It's almost like they're looking through me, above me, like just like a pity kind of like greeting. And for those of you who have not experienced this, you will think I'm acting crazy. And for those of you who have experienced, you know what I mean. Because if it's not some type of pity greeting in the past, I have literally, quite literally seen guys come up to my friend group, literally introduce themselves to everybody except for me. When guys are not attracted to you, it's so crazy how you just become less of a person. Not even a person, you're not even there. Or they'll pretend to be nice to you so that they can like make you the gatekeeper of their friends. Like, okay, so give me the, like, how do I, like, you know, how do I pull your friend? Like, I'm trying to talk to her. Like I've been the matchmaker for them. Like that's my only purpose. Like, and not that it's so crazy, because again, with these guys, with these experiences, it's not even stuff that I want. Because I see some of these relationships and that's not what I want for me, but it's still the lack of it that really will do something to you. And to be struggling with those emotions at 18, 19, and to still be struggling with them, because I feel like I haven't made any progress in the whole like romance dating area at age 24 going on 25, it's just like, I don't know anymore, y'all, but hold on.
So when I had a contour, that just brings my face back to life.
Yes.
It's arguably my favorite.
Like she said, foundation is done. We're giving very much blank canvas. I'm actually really liking foundation. I usually don't wear foundation, so I'm remembering like what it serves, the purpose it serves, and now, you know, let's see what she's talking about.
It never leads me astray.
Brighten her up. She did some here, and then here. Ooh. I'm usually not that much of a contour girl, but again, we're trusting the process. I wish I had cream contour, but this is very dark, like very dark. I love that. It's very deep. Let me see which one. The Tower 28 one might be a little bit warmer. I think, yeah, let's compare. Yeah, I think this one's lighter. So we're gonna use this one. She puts it on her cheekbone. Not under, not on top, on. I can't really see it, but you know, I love blending out the under eye while we're talking about boy, because me need my okay, hold on. Y'all. Oh, I know I have my under eye blending brush. This is a specific brush that I must use for blending my under eye because okay, I see it. It was hiding from me. I was about to say. You just pat, pat, pat. And just beautiful blending, you know? Just take your time. Blending is key. Anyway, so growing up, you know, when you're in college, you're literally being overlooked, reduced to being the matchmaker. It was such a humbling feeling, but I was like, you know what? Maybe I'm tripping. Like, you know, I'm gonna just focus on my schooling. And then, you know, granted, I graduated class of 2020. Justice for us, like, ooh, child. But I graduated class of 2020, and we were in the pandemic immediately. So I feel like our chances for meeting people was kind of like immediately no. And then I actually got my master's degree in 1 year. So in 2021, I graduated with my master's, but the program was completely virtual. And so I also didn't get a chance to meet people. But I feel like at this point, we've been basically operating like nothing happened, and we've been back to business for a good like 1 to 2 years now. And I feel like still like nothing has happened. And I'm not gonna lie, I am an introvert. So it's like, okay, we have to understand our part in this. I feel like people are always like, oh, put yourself out there. And it's like, for me, when I'm in public and I see a man, I avoid eye contact. So I know that I don't probably present as the most open person. And because of my own experiences, you know, growing up, being asked out as a joke, like Oreo, if you know, you know. And if you don't know, I'm so glad that you don't know. And also, this is eating down. My own personal experiences with men have made me just not really like them and place them all in a category, and rightfully so, because I'm sorry, but most of y'all are really not giving. And just like what my friends tell me, I'm like, oh yeah, I've seen enough. What I see on the media is like 8 out of 10 is not really giving, and I just hate that for us who like men. So it's just like, I'm so annoyed. But I will admit, like, maybe I don't present myself as the most open, but the thing about men is I feel like they still have audacity. So it's just like, even if you're like, the girlies that I'm friends with are getting unwanted attention, because if a guy wants you, if he's attracted to you, he's gonna make that known. And I feel like that just doesn't really happen to me. Even if I'm not presenting as being open, a lot of my friends are also not presenting like, oh my gosh, come talk to me, and they still get talked to. So I feel like everything I say, like when I try to bring it up to my friends, even sometimes with my therapist, I just feel like I'm met with a lot of cliches, a lot of like, oh, but have you considered like da 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 da? But it's just like, no, like, this is a real thing, and it sucks. It sucks. And I just want to hold space for the fact that it sucks, because again, you just expected, like, I feel like the timeline growing up was like, okay, yeah, by 25 I'm gonna be married, and then I'm gonna do this and this and this, and kids. Like, I'm like, girl, I don't even know if I can see myself being a mother, because it's so hard for me to conceptualize all the things that would have to happen for me to do that, because I don't want to be a mother unless I'm married, and I can't get married unless I have a boyfriend. And it's like, I haven't had a boyfriend and I'm almost 25. So I'm like, the math is not mathing, y'all. I can't. And that's the next thing. Let's talk about hyper independence with this. When it's like, when you start to try and become comfortable with the idea that, okay, this might not be in the cards for me, this might never happen, which is a sad reality. It's a hope that I don't want to let go of. But sometimes it seems easier to just be like, okay, maybe it's just not for me. And that sucks. But let's talk about that in 1 second. We're blending, and now we're adding more of the light concealer, so I'm gonna use Butterscotch again. She just put it straight on, like right here, which you can also do it with powder. And she straight away started to blend it, and she started blending with a with this. So we're just gonna bring it out and bring it up. Just kind of place it under, but I don't know. I'm not used to blending with the I'm not used to blending with the what's this, a blender? I use brushes usually. Okay, so we admit our part. Like, it wasn't all y'all. I could have been doing more. You know, that TikTok style. But you just have these expectations. So I feel like the solution is to let go of expectations and the social clock. But it's hard to do that when it just seems like it's happening for everybody around you. Then you look at the state of the world and it's like, bruh, like, where are you at? Are you like, hurry up, like, right? And then it's just like, I don't know. And also, this is just eating. It sucks because I know, like, when I look at myself from an outside perspective, and I say this in the most humble way possible, like, I know I'm such a lovable person. I know that I have all the love in the world to give. And of course, like, give it to yourself, give it to your friends, give it to your family. But I want the romance. And I don't think I'm wrong. I feel like it's natural to want to be wanted. It's normal to desire romance if that's, like, what you know, if you're not aromantic or whatever. Like, I want that. And I deserve it. I really do. And it just hurts my feelings sometimes when I realize, oh, it's another year and it hasn't happened. Meanwhile, it's happened for everybody around me. Like, it just sucks. And it's hard to not compare when it's literally like suffocating. It's Twitter battles, it's Instagram posts. It's like, you know, it's in front of me. And I will say, like, I really don't have that many examples of relationships that I would desire for myself, but it still feels like you're missing out. It still feels like the whole world has this inside joke and you just don't get it. It's something that I honestly need to talk to God more about, and I feel like it's the area that I've just been like, okay, clearly I'm on punishment. I don't know what's going on, and I know that I'm not being buried. I'm being hidden for a specific season, and bop, bop, bop. But it's just hard. It's just hard to believe that because I've seen it happen for so many other people. It just seems like I'm missing, like, I feel like there's literal rites of passages that everybody around me seems to have, and I'm just not. And then I'm also worried about, like, if it ever happens, let's say when it happens, like, I feel like I'm gonna be making dumb mistakes because I didn't learn the lessons that I should have learned when I was in elementary, middle, high school, you know, like. And the kids, I be looking at kids like, y'all are more experienced than me, which is sad because y'all don't need to be doing none of that. But I'm just like, wow. Even the middle high schoolers are in there, and of course those relationships are not really real, but I'm like, wow, I didn't have those experiences. And I'm just like, I get so attached so quickly because my, like, people are so far and few in between, at least in the past, because we have to be careful with our words. But it's just like, it just all be a lie, y'all. It just feels alienating. It feels like, I don't know. And I'm just hoping that the late bloomers find this video and you can relate, because I just know this sounds like rocket science, or like this sounds like, I don't even know the term, like, I just know that this sounds so crazy to people who don't get it because it's a natural part of your life. And it's just like, when it's not, it literally hurts. It's like a void. It's like, it's just like, nobody gets it. It's on TikTok where I was like, wow, I feel so seen, because I usually don't feel seen, honestly, in my friendships. Like, I just feel like nobody gets me when it comes to this because they're all dating, like, quite literally multiple people all the time. So it's just like, we're not the same. Like, it's just so funny. I found it, and just like looking through them, it's like, just sometimes you'll be chilling and then it's a wave of like, wow, nobody has ever really like wanted me romantically. That's so like, oh, tears, like. And smiling and laughing is my coping mechanism. It's not funny because it actually really, like, it's like but it's just like, at this point, it's my truth. I can't be embarrassed about my truth. This is my truth. I know I'm not alone, even though I feel alone, because literally I can only think of one person in my friend group, in my circle, who can relate to me. And even then, I'm not even sure if they really even desire that right now in this season. So I feel like it really does feel like right now I just feel alone. And like, it's so lonely. It's so lonely. it's so lonely, and it's something that I can't really express. And also basically being an only child, like not having people to really talk about it with, it can get really heavy sometimes. And sometimes I just it just gets to be too much, you know. And then something that also comes to mind is like, maybe I have been flirted with before, or like you know, just maybe somebody has been interested before, but it literally goes over my head because I'm so used to it either being a joke or just not happening, that I just don't even know. That's what I'm talking about. Like, all of these things, I know everything happens for a reason at the perfect time in the perfect season, but I'm just like, it just feels unfair sometimes. It just really does. And I just don't, like, I just want to hold space for myself, because it's like, I'm trying to trust that it will happen, that I'm worthy of it, but it's really hard when you see it happening for everybody around you and just not you. It feels like, okay, like, is it really, is it like, what is it, like, what is going on? You know what I'm saying? Like, it just feels like, it just sucks to hope for something for so long and to see it happen for other people, like for your entire life, and it still hasn't happened for you. Like, I really have to remind myself that late bloomers still bloom, even if it doesn't seem possible. It's gonna happen. I wasn't even sad on Valentine's Day, but I feel like afterwards I got sad. Like, I feel like I put on this like armor, and then I realized like, okay, I'm actually kind of sad. But I'm like, wow, like imagine, it's not even like, I'm not a huge, like, my love languages, let's talk about that. Okay, give the love languages to yourself. My love languages is words of affirmation, which I can do. Quality time, I'm always spending time with myself. Then physical touch, I be feeling like I'm really touch starved. It's like, I need hugs. Oh, get a massage. Oh, get your nails done. That's not the same as somebody you love hugging you, embracing you. Like, that is something that babies literally die if they're not held. And I'm just like, the power of physical touch is so real. It's like, I understand like how the physical part of dating is just also very daunting, because it's just like, I'd be weak in the knees over hugs. I can't even imagine anything for their child, because yeah. What really be getting me, I have to just say it and move on, y'all, with the first kid. I'm like, I'm almost 25. Children have got that out the way at 8, 9, 10 years old. I'm about to be 25. And y'all are telling me, oh, no, like, you're not missing anything. Oh, it comes when you least expect it. Oh, like, can you be for real? Like, nobody gets it. Y'all don't get it. Not y'all, because if you're watching this, you probably get it. But I'm just like, when I'm trying to talk to my friends, they don't get it. And you'll never get it if you didn't grow up never being seen, really. And so I've taken it to be a superpower. We're just gonna put it underneath, you know? Where's my bronzer? I'm about to get irritated. I'm trying to look through the steps. Dip that in there. It's nice and smooth. And we're just gonna smooth it out. Okay, period. Being a late bloomer is absolutely okay. You know, if you're feeling alone, hopefully this has made you feel less alone. I don't have the advice, because when I make the unfortunate decision to rant to my friends who can literally never understand about it, they, as well-meaning as they are, like, there's nothing to say, because nobody can tell you when it's gonna happen. So I know, me personally, like, I definitely need to like pray more about it, but it's just something that, you know, some of us, it's just a card that some of us are dealt, like. And I hate that I put so much like emphasis on it, because I'm so successful. I'm amazing. I can toot my own horn for a little bit. I'm amazing. And I hate that I downplay my accomplishments, because honestly I feel a little bit less than. I feel behind because these things haven't happened for me yet. And I hate that, because I deserve more. Like, my same thing for like weight loss. Sometimes I feel like, oh, like, I'm doing all these great things, but until I lose weight, this doesn't matter. Until I like finally like find my person, these things don't matter. And I hate that. I feel like we've been conditioned to think like that, and it's not okay, but it's the reality sometimes. And so I just want to hold space for any of us who struggle with that, because, you know, I hope one day I can look back at this video and be like, girl, it's literally all gonna work out. Like, just vibe, twin. Like, you're fine. Baking is so fun. It's really giving, like, you know, airbrush. You know what I do need to do? Blush. So I take my liquid blush, I bring it up where I want it, let it just mix them like that, and then doop, put it on the balls of my cheeks. So just, you know, not too much, not too little. We've added our beauty marks. I usually set in between steps and I haven't done that, so let's just go ahead and, you know, being afraid of like making dumb mistakes because I'm learning my lessons in my late 20s instead of my teens. I've talked about, you know, how most of my friends can't really relate, and it's just like little things like, oh, you know, when a guy da 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 da, or like, you know, having to avoid people in the DMs, like that's really not something that happens for me. Like, I mean, you know, be some of them, you know, cause I can't let the streets be thinking I ain't got no O's. When I compare, which is also the thief of joy, it's becoming very apparent that it's just not the same. And that makes me a little bit, you know, makes me feel away. But hold on, I'll be inspirational after I do my lip combo. So, okay. I'm liking that. And period. I feel like this is done. Is this the final look? I'm feeling super cute. Hold on. Final look. What are we thinking? I feel like it's very seamless, and as much makeup as I just put on, I almost feel like there's nothing on my face, which is crazy. I feel like now that I know the blend set big, like putting on foundation, like I feel like it looks really nice, really pretty. Period. Yeah. Face is eating. Period. I wanted to leave y'all with some inspirational words because I've talked about all the struggles, all the things that I feel like I don't get heard or seen like in my personal life about. So I'm hoping that as you've heard my inner thoughts and ramblings, that something has resonated. I'm so sorry if this is something that you can relate to, because it's very lonely, it's very like alienating, and it's very isolating. But I hope that I don't start using the cliches, because it's almost like I don't know what else to say except all we can do is be thankful. Like, let's reframe our mind. Okay, like, I don't know, they be saying like the best things take time and like it'll be worth the wait, and it'd be people like us who was like one and done. And even with that, it's like I feel like it would be a blessing for me to just find my person and to just know. But it's like, how would I know if I haven't really tried or like dated around? I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like these are all valid concerns. It's like, I don't want my first one to be my only. Maybe that is literally amazing and I need to really reframe my mind. But it's like, how do you know if that's all you're used to, you know? So I just want to hold space. It's okay. It's okay. If you're older than me and you're relating to this, it's okay. If you're younger than me and you're relating to this, it's okay. If you're my age and you're relating to this, it's okay. Whether you feel like you are the beauty standard or you feel like you're far from it, it's okay. I don't want anybody to feel like they're alone or like there's something wrong with them. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. In fact, that's what I can say. The things that I wish somebody told me is like, there's nothing wrong with you. Your time will literally come, simply for the simple fact that time is going to pass anyway. I have to hold on to the hope that my current situation is temporary and will not be forever. You're too loving, you're too valued, you're too worth it, you're too amazing. I can't even fathom a world in which you do not get like your heart's desires. And it's like, if you can succeed at so many other things, what makes you think this area will be any different? Just because it's taken a long time doesn't mean it's not happening. And again, you're probably really young if you're watching this, and if you're older or you think you're older, like, age is a construct, time is a construct, and the way we think about it is so different than what is actually capable of being done. And you could be watching this today and meet your person tomorrow. That's just the funny thing about how life works, about how God has a sense of humor. Like, I have to trust that I'm being shielded for, you know, because it's rough out here, y'all. And I know that the way I'm set up, I'm not meant for this casual like talk to 10 people at the same time. I can't do it. I love too hard to be doing that. And also the way cheating is so normalized and so almost like expected, and just the way these people be like, it's just rough. The dating pool is rough right now, and it's just like, that's why I'm like, love is so important. Where are the real yearners? Where are the real lovers? Like, I'm one of them. So where you at, honestly? Like, where's the lovers? because of that, I'm just like, I have to have faith that there's no way. I feel like it would be so wicked. It would be so wicked for me to never find my person. I don't believe that wickedness follows me. I have to hold hope. Maybe it's delusion. Maybe we have to call it delusion. But instead of having so much faith in oh, it'll never happen for me, like it hasn't happened, it's happened for everybody else, and like maybe it's just never gonna happen and that's okay. Trying to be okay with that when you know full well you're not okay with that. How about let's believe that, okay, it hasn't happened, but it's going to. Like, it's taken a long time, but it's gonna be the fairy tale that I want it to be. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to think of what I would want to hear, because I'm really okay. Like, I've gone, and this might be sad, but it's like, it's caused me to be hyper independent. I hate asking for help, and I can imagine that will probably be an issue that I'll run into when it's my turn, my time. But I can't imagine like somebody trying to take care of me or like do things for me, which is nice. That's something I'll talk about in therapy, but I'm just like, I can do it myself because I'm used to doing it for myself, by myself. I'm used to it. Like, and that's so sad. That's so sad. That's not okay. But these are all things that can be unlearned. Maybe there's some affirmations we need to do. Maybe we need to remind ourselves of the truths of who we actually are, and also just know that it's normal. It's so normal, because a lot of times people will try to invalidate as well and just be like, you're doing all of this just for lack of romance. Meanwhile, they have 10 people in their phone. They're in the happiest relationship of their life. Like, you don't get it if you've never had it. Like, to long for something you've never had is a different type of hurt. And I'm, again, sorry, smiling, laughing is my coping mechanism, but it's just like, people don't get it. And when they don't get it, they'll either tell you the dumbest advice you've ever heard, or they'll try to invalidate and be like, you're doing all this just because. Like, yes, and what about it? It's a value of mine. It's something that I know I'm gonna be good at. Romance? Are you kidding me? I'm probably the CEO of romance at this point. Y'all just keeping me in the back rooms because the world isn't ready for my love. But it's just like, I don't know. Trying to trust the process, trying to trust the timing of my life. And maybe I really do have to focus on myself. But I feel like that's what I've been doing. But maybe I just need to really, like, you know, there's certain things that I want to work on. But I feel like that reinforces the idea that, like, you have to, you know, be your perfect self in order to experience blah, 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 blah. And that's not the case. So I don't know, y'all. But just know that, if nothing else, if I can't encourage you, and maybe I have encouraged you and I'm just, like, being too hard on myself right now, but, you know, if I have encouraged you in any way, I'm glad. And if I haven't, I just want to leave you with the reminder that it's okay to feel whatever you're feeling about your dating or lack thereof, or your romance or lack thereof. Like, it's okay to want these things. It's normal. Don't let anybody make you feel like it's not normal for you to want to be wanted, for you to want to have these experiences, for you to want to go on dates, for you to want, like, you know, like, oh my gosh, like, what's that like? Like, you like somebody and they like you back and y'all date exclusively? Like, in this economy, in these times, that's a thing that happens. Wow. Just know it's okay. And I see you. You see me. We see each other. And I'm sorry that it feels like you've been overlooked, that you've been unseen, especially for my plus size baddies that really feel like it's just not in the cards, or like, you know, like people will want to use you for your body. That hasn't even happened to me, so I can't speak on that, because I just feel like I've just been overlooked in general. I'm not partly desired and not loved the way through, which is a different type of hurt. But, like, I don't know, I'm focused on me. I know in due time my love story will be amazing. I put so much love out there, and I know it will be returned unto me, and I know that at the end of the day, God's love for me is enough, and I really have to focus on making it enough. But it's also valid for me to have these feelings, and I'm not going to invalidate them, and I'm not going to allow anybody to invalidate them for me. So just know that I see you, you see me, we see each other. And if there's anything that came to mind when I was talking that you want me to talk more about, or like, let's really like talk about it in the comments, because sometimes I literally feel like I'm going crazy because nobody could understand me. So yeah, it's rough being a late bloomer, but late bloomers and underdogs, you know how those stories go. We always win in the end. So if nothing else, look at it like the plot of the movie. Like, you're the girl that got away, and you're gonna win in the end. Like, and you're gonna have your Prince Charming and your, you know, you are the bane of my existence and the object of all my desires moment. You're gonna have your Bridgerton moment, whatever that is for you. Like, I claim it for you and for myself. So yeah, thanks for chilling with me, chatting with me, doing your makeup with me. And you know, if there's anything else we want to chat about, let me know in the comments. Much love always, no pun intended. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. 'Cause I realize I got myself